Hey, good afternoon, college coaches. This is Coach Anthony Williams, founder and CEO of Connected Athletics. We are a startup company based in Austin, Texas. We are focused on creating technology and a platform that's going to help student athletes better connect with student athletes as they build out their network, to also connect with college coaches during the recruiting process, especially now in this COVID-19 environment where they can't get on campus. And most importantly, our main charter is to help student athletes successfully transition from high school to college and then into a career either in the NFL or a career based on their major. I'm excited to have another linebacker on the podcast. As a former linebacker, I always have much love for my linebacking crew. Luke Lingard is a class of 21 linebacker out of Colleyville Heritage up in the Dallas area. He is 6'1", 210 pounds, really strong GPA of 3.3. He was first team all district last year and primed for a huge breakout senior year. Luke, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent and blessed, man. I'm just glad. I'm looking forward to hearing your story, and I'm looking more forward to you telling your story in your own words. So let's just jump right into it and let these college coaches know more about you personally and what your goals are. Hey, obviously we're in this COVID-19 environment right now. Tell these coaches what you've been doing to stay in shape for the upcoming season.
I haven't taken a day off. Hasn't been a day during this quarantine where I've not been doing something to get better. I've been finding gyms around the area that didn't close down. I found one that was just self-owned by this guy. It wasn't any like big gym, big business. He didn't shut down, and he was nice enough to let me come in there and live for free and use his gym and all of his tools.
Tell us, as a linebacker myself, former linebacker at every level, tell us, we've got to work on speed, strength, and agility and quickness, but we also need to work on our position-specific technique, being knee benders, using our hands. Tell us how you've been able to work on some of the technique that you need to be successful your senior year.
I've been working with on Coach Flight. He's a DB and linebacker specialist around the DFW area, and I think he does a really good job on perfecting my technique and getting my technique better, my feet, my hands, all that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's jump into the most important thing that college coaches want to know about you, and that's your academics. You got the strong GPA at 3.3. Tell us in your own words about the importance that you put on your academics.
I mean, a lot of what you do in the classroom, most of that is going to translate to the field. That's the way I see it. And it's vice versa. Whatever I do on the field, it's got to translate to the classroom. So if I'm going to go hard in one area, that doesn't really work for me. For both to be really good, you got to give it all in both areas, both aspects.
Colleyville Heritage has put a lot of players to the next level. Have you heard or talked to any of those guys that are maybe a year or two in front of you? And have they shared the difference between high school academics and what it takes to be successful with college academics?
Yes, sir. One of my good friends who was on the team last year, he's kicking at Alabama now. So that's the best. His name's Chase Allen. He said it's a big difference. It's much more responsibilities. Just everything we do in high school, multiply it by 5. It's a full-time job. It's hard work. It's not easy. I think that's something I'm really ready for.
Yeah, I know I can tell you this, Luke, and a lot of the prospects I talked to over my many years of coaching and playing, the number one key to success as a collegiate student athlete is time management. Making sure that you have everything prioritized, because if you don't, you can get mixed up and it just goes south. And a lot of players that don't do well in college, it's mainly because they're trying to do too much. Your day is going to be pretty much outlined, as a student athlete, but man, I can tell you manage your time is going to be a big thing. Hey, going back to your GPA, tell us a little bit about what are some of your favorite subjects that drive that strong GPA?
I liked I took this class a couple of years ago, but I like my speech class was pretty cool, learning how to communicate and talk to others. I just took aquatic science, and I was learning about the environment and a bunch of animals, and that was a cool class for me. Not too big of a math guy. I like science. History's cool. I love learning about what happened around the world and how our country was started. That's cool stuff for me.
Do you have an idea of what you might want to major in at the college level?
Yes, sir. I want to go into business, and I would like to carry that on to medical sales if I can.
Okay, I like it.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Hey, tell these coaches, they always want to know what type of learning style you have, both in the classroom and on the field. Tell these coaches, are you more of a verbal, visual, or physical learning style?
Uh, I would say, honestly, all three of them work for me pretty well, but I would say visual, and that's like, to me, that's like watching film, uh, and yeah, just watching film pretty much. That helps me a lot.
Okay. Tell us, being a successful student athlete is about sacrifice. Tell these coaches what you've had to sacrifice to be a elite student athlete.
The main thing is time.
Yeah.
That's staying up late, getting the right amount of sleep, hanging out with your friends. What are you going to do? Go get better, work, or go hang out and do nothing? And for me, time was the biggest thing. I've put a much more time into this upcoming season than I have in anything else.
That's awesome. That's great to hear because I'm a believer that hard work pays off, and I think it will for you, obviously, too. Tell us lastly about from your academics. Are there any teachers, tutors, counselors, APs at your school that you want to shout out that help keep you on focus for your academics at Colleyville Heritage?
Miss Giamonco, she was my digital media teacher. She was one of my favorite teachers. Me and her we got a good bond, and it was always fun going to her class.
Okay, good to hear. I'm going to shout them out. Let's switch over to recruiting a little bit. Tell us, as you go into your senior year, Luke, tell us what do you consider your strengths, and what are some of the things you're working on as a linebacker going into your senior year?
I think my strengths are my strength and my speed together. I think what I have is sort of, I would say, uncommon, being this strong and big and fast. I think those are my strengths, and what I really need to get better is I need to get better with my eyes and my feet is what I really need to work on for this season.
Okay.
'Cause I think big eyes is a huge thing.
Oh, absolutely. As a linebacker, it is the number one thing.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good linebackers in the 21 class. Tell these coaches, how do you differentiate yourself from the other linebackers you're competing against in your class?
I'm really physical, really physical. I love to be in the box. I'm effective off the edge, coming off the edge, blitzing. One of my favorite things to do is blitz. I love getting a blitz call. And honestly, my will to win, I feel like I want to win just about more than anybody out there. And my love for my teammates and my coaches and the team bond that we've built, my leadership.
Okay. As a former linebacker coach myself and defense coordinator, let me have you grade yourself objectively on the following things as a linebacker. 0 to 5, 0 being bad, 5 being great. How would you grade your feet and your footwork?
4.
Okay. What about you being a knee bender, not being cut at the point of attack?
4.
Okay. What about your hip flexibility, being able to turn and run and change directions?
4.
Okay, I like it. What about hands, being able to take on and get off blocks and make tackles? How would you rate that?
5.
Okay, and then what about, we just talked about it, but what about your eye progression? How would you give that? What grade would you give that?
5. I'm getting a lot. That's honestly, that's the biggest thing I've been working on is my eyes, making sure that.
And then lastly, what about your mental preparation as a linebacker? What would you grade yourself in that?
5.
That's awesome. I love the honesty, and based on what I've seen in your film, which we'll bring up here in a minute, I would agree with most of those grades. Hey, tell us a little bit about recruiting. Who are you hearing from? Who do you want to hear from? And what's been your recruiting experience so far?
I've spoken with a lot of coaches. Heard from TCU. Spoke with TCU before. And mainly the rest D2. I've talked to Hendricks, D3. Who else? I know I just got in contact with the University of Central Arkansas today. They're D2.
Yep.
And mainly just a bunch of D2s.
Okay.
I'm looking for just whatever college wants to give me the best opportunity. Yeah. So wherever I have the opportunity to play at is where I want to be.
Well, Luke, I love your honesty. Most players that I talk to and interview here on the podcast, everybody's like, I just want to go D1. And I'm telling you, honestly, as a D2 guy, I had the chance to go D1, but I didn't take care of my grades. Big time is wherever you are. And as long as you're getting the right education and having a great football experience, I mean, that's really what it's all about. I know a lot of guys that go to D1 and then end up transferring because either it was too big for them or they didn't have a good experience. So I'm glad to hear that you got realistic expectations on your recruiting.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit. Another thing about college coaches they want to understand is your relationship with your high school coaches. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with your position coach and your head coach.
My position coach, Coach Mendoza, me and him have a really good relationship. I mean, during quarantine, we were talking every day. He was giving me phone calls. I'm always reaching out to him, talking to him. He's a guy I trust. I trust a lot, and he's somebody I want to win for and want to play for. I like him a lot. My head coach, Coach Martin, he's new here from Syracuse. He's a really good coach. His record says it too. He had great career at Manville. They went to state twice. Didn't lose much. So I really trust him. I think he knows what he's doing. He seems like a really good coach so far, and I look forward to playing for him. He's a great guy.
Excellent. Hey, tell these coaches, have you and your parents sat down and put together a criteria that's going to help you decide what school that you'll eventually commit to and attend? Is it distance? Is it the major? Tell us what you guys have been talking about.
It's really just been wherever I get the opportunity, and I would go anywhere, like anywhere. It doesn't really matter to me.
Okay.
So whatever.
Is distance from home an issue? Would you like to stay in state, or don't mind going anywhere across the country?
Oh, I would go across the country. Being in the state would be cool. Yeah, prefer if perfect scenario somewhere where it's cooler, because that Texas heat is ridiculous. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay, I like it. The one thing I would advise you on is when you do get a chance to pick the school based on where you want your degree in case you ever, God forbid, get an injury and end your career. A lot of kids pick their school based on what bowl they went to or their uniform mix or whatever. And I keep telling kids, football is going to come to an end one day. Make sure you pick your school based on if there was no football, I still want my degree from that university. So keep that in mind as you go forward. I'm sure your parents will talk to you about that. Tell us about some people in your life, whether it's family or outside your family, who have had a positive impact on your life.
My teammates mostly, because I feel like our last year's team, we went to round 4, and what got us there, I mean, you can look at that team. We had nobody on our defense had a Division I offer. We had one offensive tackle with the Division I offer, and that was pretty much it. So we were guys, we didn't have much talent. We weren't all that. But I feel like our bond and the relationship we built within what we had and what we were given, that's what took us so far. And it wasn't where we wanted to go. I mean, we wanted to go all the way, and that's what we're really pushing for this year. And I really think this group can do it this year.
Okay,
So
I like it.
the bond our teammates make, that's really important to me.
Yep, I totally agree. Luke, tell us, how do you define leadership and how do you plan on leading as you go into your senior year?
Leadership, it's not just telling people what to do. You got to earn all of your teammates' trust. That's the first thing. They have to trust you. And then my teammates, they see the way I work. They see everything that I'm doing on Twitter, and I'm always working. So I gained the respect through what I was doing in the weight room and on the field. And then I just kind of show them the right way of doing things.
Yeah,
I guess.
leading by example, sounds like.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, tell us a little bit. Is there a certain college or NFL linebacker that you pattern your game off of? And if so, who is that?
One guy that I just always grew up watching was Ray Lewis. That dude was mean. He was a killer on the field. That guy played with violence, and I really liked the way he played.
Okay, I like it. Dealing with adversity is important as a student athlete. Tell these college coaches about a time in your life, either personally or dealing with sports, that you had to overcome some type of adversity.
Oof. Probably when, ooh,
Maybe an injury or something happened to your family or another teammate or somebody at school.
yeah, probably when for we were. It was the first game of the week versus Lovejoy. It was our first game ever. It was the second drive on defense, and one of our linebackers is blitzing, and he tries to go make the play on the quarterback, and a D lineman of ours gets shoved down, and he tears his ACL, MCL,
Oh,
and his
wow.
meniscus. Yeah, in the first drive, and it was his senior year, so that really sucked for him.
Yeah.
But after that, I mean, well, before that, our linebackers were all kind of moving around. We didn't like really know because we were in a 3-3 stack,
Hmm.
and so we'd move around who was in the middle, who was Sam, and who was Will, and that was pretty tough having one of our starters go down in the first game, and all of our backups they were young guys. They were really young with not much experience at the varsity level. So that was a big thing for us and on our team was that first injury week one. That was a
Okay.
huge. Uh-huh.
Well, for the coaches that haven't seen your video yet, let's bring up your video and let's turn you into Tony Romo and do a little commentating. Tell us who you're playing and what you're thinking and how you made some of these great plays, okay?
All right, sweet.
All right, let me share my screen and go.
This first one's against Newman Smith. We're running a blitz where we send the D linemen. They line up in fours, and then they go out. I forgot what that technique is called with the D line, but they go outside, which frees up a gap for us. The linebackers, two linebackers are coming, and I just shoot right through the hole and make the play.
Nothing better as a linebacker when I played inside and outside that when you come through the line on blitz and there's nobody within 3 yards of
Yeah,
you. That's
untouched. That feels great. Yeah. This one they got their key player for us that week was number 3. Oh yeah, or whoever had the ball there. I forgot what number it was, and that was him. We said all week if he's back there in the Wildcat quarterback, he's getting the ball. So I knew he was getting the ball, and I knew exactly what they wanted to do, and that was all the film for me. Like film was what made me able to make that play because I knew exactly what they were doing. And
Luke, as a linebacker coach. I love your stance. I love that you work downhill and you make plays going north and south. You're not waiting for the guy to get to you. For all you young linebackers out there, this play is how you play downhill. Really good stuff right here. Really good technique and aggression.
thank you. It's not. He was number 12. This one is against Amarillo, round 3. No, round 2. And flow style. I'm keying. I'm in the middle right now, so I'm keying the guards
Yep.
to the running back, and I see flow go away, so I'm still kind of static, popping my feet. I'm reading the mesh, and then I see him pull, and then I just fill the hole and make a play.
That's a great read. Coming downhill too again, and you're a solid tackler, which I also love. Shoulder square, good hitting position, finish the guy off. It's good stuff. One more play here.
All right. I have to rewatch this one. Oh, this is me coming off the edge. Oh yeah, he fumbles. Yeah. I came off the edge. They gave it. Just kept running, hustling with the play. Ended up getting a hold of the guy, making him fumble. Stuck my
Luke, when I
helmet
saw
right
this
on
play, when
the
I've watched the video a couple of times before, once again to help out these younger linebackers that are coming up on varsity, most linebackers would not have put this play on their highlight because the guy gained yards. But I love why you put it on here, I think, in that you showed hustle. I mean, you're not always going to make a great play for a tackle for loss or whatever, but the fact that you went upfield, took care of your responsibility, peeled back, and still was able to affect the play and cause a turnover, that's what the game is about. So kudos to you and adding this on your video. This is really good stuff right here.
Thank you.
Call these hustle plays. Coaches love hustle plays.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, let's come back to the interview. That's good stuff. And coaches, you'll definitely want to look at the rest of his film because Luke does a lot of great things at linebacker that he can bring to your program. Luke, you obviously played with a lot of good players at Colleyville Heritage. Take this time to shout out some of your teammates that maybe college coaches should be aware of. Who would you like to shout out?
Hogan Wasson. He's going to be a junior. He started for us last year both ways. That guy, he busts his butt. He really gets after it. He's a hard worker. He's great feet, really reliable receiver on offense, and a great safety. He knows the game very well. He's really good.
Okay.
Josh
Luke,
Dobbins,
go ahead.
corner.
Yeah, go ahead.
Josh Dobbins, he's a corner.
Yeah.
Very disciplined. He's gotten so much better over the years. It's crazy how much he's been able to get better, and he'll be a really good guy for us next year.
Perfect. Okay, good stuff. Hey, tell these college coaches, Luke, why do you love football?
It's one of the only places you get to get out on the field and just be a man and do man things like tackling people, whipping somebody's butt. I mean, that's what I love. I love winning too. After the game, I love winning.
Well, you're obviously a good athlete. What other sports have you played over your 4 years at Colleyville?
I ran track.
Okay.
And I ran the 400 and the 200. And the 400, I ran a 56. And the 200, I ran a it's been a while since I've ran the 200. 22. It's down there. It's a pretty good time. 22, somewhere in there.
As you know, college coaches love football players that run track in the offseason, no matter whether they compete in meets or not. But tell these coaches one thing that you've learned from track that helped you become a better football player.
I like track because it's one-on-one, or unless you're in a relay, I'll talk about something else. The 4x4, that's like the most like football relatable thing in track. It's 4 quarters, and that translates to football. It's just you got to trust that your guys are going to get you in the right spot before you get a chance to go win the race or.
I like it. The only team sport in track is the relay. I like that. Mm-hmm. Hey, lastly here, before we move into some of the things about you personally, tell these coaches about your competitive spirit. How would you describe your competitive spirit?
I think it's as high as it gets. I mean, if I'm on the field, I'm there to win. I'm there to win in whatever I'm doing. If it's a one-on-one, I want to win all my matchups. I can't express enough how much I love to win. I think it's more that I just hate losing is probably the thing. Yeah.
Okay. Switching over as we end up finish up the interview here. Tell us about your family. Tell us a little bit about your mom and dad. Are you an only child? You're the oldest? You're the baby? Give us a little bit about your family background.
I'm the youngest, actually. I got a brother who is 19, and he goes to TCU. Okay. He's going to be a sophomore. My mom, works really hard. She works for an advertisement company, so she does a really good job at what she does. And my dad lives in Fort Worth, and he spends a lot of time with my brother now that goes to TCU. So they're really close to each other. Okay.
Tell us about some of your interests away from football. When you're not working out or playing the game, do you like to hunt, fish, hang out in the water? What are some things you like to do to blow off some steam?
Go to the lake. I love going to the lake, tubing, surfing. I think the lake's really fun, being out on a boat. I like to play basketball just for fun. I'm not really serious about it, but I think basketball is pretty fun. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then there's not a teenager your age that isn't doing some type of video gaming. Are you a big video game guy? Are you a Madden 2K guy or no?
I play a little bit of Xbox. I play Call of Duty, a little bit of Madden. And just those type of games, pretty much.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The obvious follow-up question is: are you taking L's or are you giving L's?
I'm only giving L's.
Okay. We'll have to verify that with some of your friends and teammates. I like it though. Also, there's a teenager your age that isn't always near the phone. Tell these coaches, what are some of your favorite apps you spend time on? You a Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snap guy? Give us a little bit of background there.
I like Twitter a lot because I get to see a lot of other athletes too, not just myself. I like to see what other guys. I just kind of like seeing what other guys are doing. Maybe something that could help me. I don't know. I like Twitter a lot. That's my favorite
Yeah.
app, definitely.
And then lastly, tell us pregame, what kind of music, either genre or what artists you listen to in pregame to get you fired up for a game.
Usually in pregame when we're getting really close, I shut off my phone and get focused, watch film, do that type of thing. I'm not really, I don't like being on my phone much during game day, social media and all that. I think it's a distraction.
Okay.
So I think really just getting my head right, watching film, keep watching film, go over my notes I had for the week,
Yep.
and that type
Good
of
stuff.
thing. Mm-hmm.
As we finish up here, tell these coaches, what are you doing to give back to your community there in Colleyville?
Me and our teammates, we had we organized a peaceful protest up here in Colleyville that we marched around just kind of the main area in Colleyville. We had a bunch of our teammates and a bunch of people from the community that came out and supported us.
That's
The biggest
awesome.
thing we can do for the community is win, give them another game to go to every week.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
tell us, eventually football, although it's a great game, will come to an end. What does your life look like whenever football is over?
Hopefully in the medical or in medical sales or something in the business, preferably medical sales. That's something I would like to get into. Just start my family and raising kids of my own that hopefully enjoy the same things I do.
Yeah, I like it.
Yes,
The last
sir.
question we always finish with this is, in business, there's a term called the elevator pitch. Take 30 seconds and tell these college coaches why they should recruit you and also tell them what you're going to bring to their program.
Uh, I'm the hardest working person I know. I'll bring energy, leadership, everything you could want a player to bring. I'm bringing all of that. I want to win. I want to win so bad. Win at the end of the day, winning is all that matters. The records don't lie. I want to build a bond with my teammates, my coaches, and just want to be great.
Okay, I respect that. Well, Luke, I have really enjoyed getting to know you better personally through this interview. I am looking forward to seeing you play this fall. Crossing my fingers here. If you your family needs anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Continue to be safe this summer, and we'll see you on the sidelines this fall.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks, Luke. Have a great day.
Thank you for having me.
Yep.